Before registration and incorporation of Gulfcap Investment Bank in Kenya in 2022, Gulf Investment Bank had close to 11 years in the Middle East giving services in investment banking, fund management, diaspora services, and corporate advisory services. In 2022, Gulf Investment Bank was incorporated in Kenya, and by 2024, they had gotten the fund manager, Gulf Investment Bank, registered and vetted for fund management by CMA and RBA. In 2024, the products issued to the market by Gulfcap Investment Bank are fully registered and regulated by the Capital Markets Authority. And in their product nest, they have the Gulfcap Money Market Fund, they have the Gulfcap Fixed Income Fund, they have the Gulfcap Sharia Fund, and in partnership with Safaricom, Gulf Investment Bank is also the fund manager for Zaidi Sharia Money Market Fund. Our today's video, we are looking at the fund features, onboarding process, and the funding options for the Gulfcap Fixed Income Fund. We shall be looking at those schedules after 3 seconds short break, so don't go away. In the meantime, as always, give a like to the video, engage in the comment section, and if it has value, don't forget to share it to another person. See you after 3 seconds short break. Welcome back to our continuation of the review for fund features of the Gulfcap Fixed Income Fund. After giving us the mid-July 2025 topping money market fund by performance, Gulf Investment Bank gave us also a fixed income fund with the following fund features as per this schedule. The fund type is a collective investment scheme receiving funds for investment on behalf of many retail investors, and the fund was started or incepted in December 2024, and that's why it did not feature in most of the reviews that were done later in the year and the beginning of 2025 because not a lot of information was available for its review. The currency for this fund, or the base currency, the currency through which the fund distributes its return, is in Kenya shillings. For you to invest in this fund, you are required to have a minimum starting capital of 1,000 shillings, and for top-ups, we'll top up a minimum of 100 shillings, and the top-ups are not mandatory on a monthly basis. The top-ups will depend on availability of funds for the investor, but as always, this fund gives you a democratized opportunity to build your capital over time. The fund ecosystem includes the fund manager being Gulfcap Asset Managers and a Gulfcap Investment Bank, the custodian, the party that owns the fund on behalf of the investors, keeping safely the funds, is I&M Bank. The trustees who ensure that the investor interest is put first shall be Cooperative Bank of Kenya through the COP trustee, and the regulator is Capital Markets Authority for the Collective Investment Scheme. The Retirement Benefits Authority regulates funds or funds which are managing retirement benefit products. The auditors are PKF auditors. The risk profile for these funds, unlike the money market funds which were profiled as low risk, this fund is low to medium risk because of the risks associated with the underlying assets. The money market fund was categorized as a low profile risk because the underlying assets are of short-term near cash nature, with the fund under regulation given a weighted average maturity period of 18 months. The fixed income fund, investing unlimitedly in both short-term and long-term instruments, the long-term instruments open a new level of risk exposures due to the maturity of the instruments, due to the elongated maturity of the instruments. But comparing to the money market funds, these funds invest in the same nature fixed income securities just like the money market fund, but the extra level of risk exposure which brings this fund to a low to medium risk profile is the elongated maturity of the underlying instruments, which easily can bring out delayed payments of returns by the issuers of the instruments, as well as occasion absolute default on such instruments. But it's the duty of the fund manager and the trustee to ensure that the fund does not expose the investors to higher risk exposures above what has been regulated. This fund distributes income on a monthly basis. However, the fund has a locking period distributed as 3 months, 6 months, and 12 months worth of locking periods. So it is upon the investor to choose the locking period that suits their investment and their goal. If one is investing to achieve a goal in 3 months, they can go for the 3-month locking period. A longer goal covering 6 months, you can go for the 6-month locking period. And a 1-year goal, you can choose the 12-month locking period. This being a fixed income fund can also be used for distribution purpose. Distribution is whereby an investor allocates a fixed sum of cash to an investment vehicle in the expectation of consuming the returns either on monthly basis, on quarterly basis, semi-annual basis, or in the event one is using the fund for distribution purpose, for income consumption purpose, then that fund does not compound. The fund will be generating return on a simple interest base. Compounding only happens when the returns or the incomes generated from the investment are not consumed or withdrawn from the investment vehicle, but combined with the capital in that account and reinvested again for the interest to start generating interest. Where an investor is using the investment vehicle for purposes of generation of passive income for funding of their lifestyle expenses or any other objective for that, in that case, then that fund does not compute. And that is the nature of many vehicles when applied for distribution purpose. The management fee applicable for this fund is 2% per annum prorated over 365 days. The withholding tax applicable for the fund is 15%, just like the money market fund. And the fund is compounding on a monthly basis for the cases where the investor is not using it as an investment vehicle for income distribution purpose. The performance of this fund is benchmarked on the average return of a 182-day treasury bill. The fund does not charge introduction or entry fees. If you're looking forward to onboarding to either the money market fund or the fixed income fund powered by Gulf Investment Bank, the documentation required for setting up your account under the GCIB portal, that is Gulfcap Investment Bank portal, will be the proof of your bank account. That could either be a copy of an image of the face of your ATM card or a statement for that account, your identity card, both sides, the KRA PIN, and a colored passport. This fund being online based will be paperless, and therefore you will not be required to complete or fill in an account opening form. For funding purpose, once your account has been created, approved, and ready for investment, you have 2 options for depositing money for investment. The first option is a bank transfer. For a bank transfer, you are RTGSing or directly sending your money from your bank to the custodian bank of Gulf Investment Bank. For bank transfer, the custodian bank for Gulf GCIB is I&M Bank. The branch is Spring Valley, and the account number is 0360 420 438 1357. The second option for funding your account is via M-Pesa. The pay bill number for funding will be 4221888, and the account number shall be your Gulf Fixed Income Fund account number, which will start with the GMF and the numeral values. Gulf Investment Bank, the money market fund approval brought the number of existing money market funds in the country to 49 money market funds operated, proprieted, and managed by 39 fund managers. The extra 10 money market funds which exceed the number of fund managers are the money market funds that have been proprieted by parties or in company institutions that are not registered and regulated fund managers by the Capital Markets Authority, and the others are the USD money market funds like the ZD Sharia money market fund. Thank you for watching and see you in our next video.